Hi everyone, my name is Matt Pescatore and I'd like to welcome you to Legacy Live. Today we're going to be making homemade manicottis, and we're actually going to be making the ricotta from scratch. I went to the farm, grabbed some fresh milk, and we're also going to make some homemade sauce, and I'll show you my recipe, how I do it, and let's get started. Alright, so for the ricotta cheese, what we use is basically whole milk, and if you can get unhomogenized. Basically what unhomogenized milk means, it's when they homogenize it, it prevents the cream from separating from the milk. And when you make cheese and stuff like that, you want the non-homogenized, if you can get it. If for some reason you can't, just get a nice organic fresh milk, but you want whole milk. You can make a hot skim, but I prefer whole milk just because it gives you, a more richer flavor. Alright, so for this we're going to actually add 2 gallons. I got 8 quarts. We're going to add just the milk directly to the pan. And making ricotta is 3 ingredients. It's pretty simple. It's just milk, citric acid, and salt. And that's about it. If you can't get citric acid, you could use lemon juice, or you can use distilled vinegar also. But in this case, I use citric acid. You can find that at either like a beer making shop. You can buy beer supplies, or you can probably get online, maybe Amazon or one of those places. Alright, I just turned on the stove and we're going to heat this up. You want to heat it up to about 190 degrees. You don't want to boil it, and also you want to make sure you stir it often so it doesn't start sticking. You probably want to use like a medium heat, and it should, for 2 gallons, it should probably take, I don't know, probably a good 20 minutes to heat up. You can use either a digital thermometer, or if you have one of those candy thermometers, you can stick in there just to kind of monitor the temperature. But like I say, I want it to go to 190 degrees. And while this is heating, we're going to start the sauce. Alright, so the milk's almost at temperature, so what I'm going to do is dissolve 2 teaspoons of citric acid in water. It's usually about 1 teaspoon per gallon, so if we do the simple math, we have 2 gallons, 2 teaspoons. Okay, so we're at 190 right now, so we're going to shut the gas off. I'm going to add the citric acid. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, when I add the citric acid, I also add the salt, so you want to salt it at that time. Probably about 2 teaspoons for 2 gallons. But if that's not enough, after you make it, you can always add more, so it's, to your taste, how you like it. So basically what we did, we took a strainer, lined it with some cheesecloth, and we're going to strain the curds off the ricotta. You just have to be careful because it's kind of messy, so the whole idea is just kind of pour slow and, try not to make too much of a mess.
Ready? Cut it?
Yeah. No, keep on. You got to do a real tight. Okay. Double it. Okay, so we're going to basically take this, we're going to hang it probably for about a half hour, and then once in a while we'll kind of just move it around and maybe get a little squeeze just to get some of the water out. You don't want to squeeze it too tight because you don't want this thing bursting and obviously getting all over the place. And what I usually do is hang it somewhere like over a pan, just in case for some reason it breaks, goes in the pan. I'm going to start the sauce here, and I have Kathy here with me. My sauce, it's pretty simple. I use garlic and onion, sauteed in some olive oil. Add the homemade tomato sauce. If you don't have homemade, you can use any good pastine or whatever kitchen-ready sauce. And this sauce we're going to make, because we're doing manicotti, we're going to make a meat sauce, and it's basically just some pork and beef. We'll season it up a little bit, and we'll go from there. All right, so the onions are starting to brown up, so now it's time to add the meat. Basically, we're going to let the meat brown up, and once that browns up, we can add the sauce. Alright, so we added all the sauce. I'm just going to add some salt and pepper, and right over here get some basil. I'm just going to chop it coarse, then add it to the sauce. Okay, so we have all the stuff in the sauce. We have the sauteed garlic and onion, we did the beef, we did the pork, add the sauce. I just put some basil, salt, pepper. So the trick to heat up a sauce is you want to heat it up kind of quickly, but not too fast, so you burn it. The reason for that is if you heat sauce up too slowly, that's when you get the acidity taste, So if you heat it up as quick as you can without burning and stir often, usually like over a low to medium heat, you should be good to go. Alright, so we have the ricotta hanging here. You can see it dripping. Like I said, once in a while, just kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze. Not too much. You can see that water starting to come out. And we have the sauce simmering, and we just threw the water on for the manicottis. The ones I like to use are the Barilla ones. These take usually, 12 minutes to cook, but you only want to cook them like less than halfway. So you want to cook them so they're still firm and not squishy, just because you're going to have a real hard time stuffing them, and also when you bake them, they'll become like all mushy. So when you cook them halfway, after we add the sauce to the pan, we bake them. They'll cook the rest of the way in the oven, with the sauce. All right, so while we wait for the water to boil, Kathy's doing the parsley. Obviously, you want to use fresh parsley. That's going to be part of the ricotta. We're going to, for the stuffing, it's going to be the ricotta, parsley, salt, pepper. That's pretty much it. Pretty simple. All right, we're going to add the manicottis to the water, and we're going to cook them for about 4 minutes. Alright, so what I did, I just strained the manicottis, and if you can see, they're still kind of firm, and I put cold water just to stop them from cooking and to cool them down. What I did, I just took some sauce and put a thin layer on the bottom of the pan just to prevent them from sticking, and now we're going to start stuffing. So we're going to stuff the manicottis. 2 ways you can do it. I like to use a small spoon. The other way you can do is use one of those bacon things with the bag where you do frosting on a cake. Either way works, so you just basically want to get the ricotta and kind of stuff it in there. Don't worry if you get some on the outside, it's not a big deal. I usually do half and then flip it over and do the other half. And this takes a little time. You know you stuff it enough when it starts coming out the other end. You just place them there and do the rest of them. What you do is add sauce on the top. And add fairly good amounts. Alright, so it's been about, 35 minutes, so I'm going to pull them out, take a look at them. Looks good. Alright, so the final thing we're going to do, we're going to give it a quick broil just to brown the cheese up. See that the cheese browned up a bit. Now we'll serve them. And there you have it. Just put a little sauce on top, a little basil, and good to go. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We'll put the recipe on the website. You can always email me or give me a call.